All right, how to train beach volleyball without a coach with your friends. This is actually a pretty interesting and very important question because the thing is that we can practice without a coach. We can actually get a lot of repetitions, a lot of practice done without having to pay for a coach because we all have limited amounts of money, right? So we can't all afford to always have someone next to you giving you feedback and whatnot. But I've noticed, maybe you have noticed, I don't know, but I have noticed that there's a fundamental sort of communication problem when we often try to practice with friends. So maybe this has happened to you. For me, several times, me and some friends that I used to play with, we go to the volleyball court and we're like, hey, today we're gonna practice. Because we all know we need to, get more repetitions on this certain thing. So we all agree that it would be good to practice today instead of play like we usually do. But when we get there, no one really takes charge because no one's really the leader. There is no coach that we have hired to set things up and tell that, hey, okay, now it's this exercise and it's this, we're gonna practice this is why we do that, blah 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 blah. So we end up being a group of friends at the court with no leader, and we try a few drills. We're a little bit awkward. We're not really knowing why we're doing it, how we should be doing it. And after a while, the awkwardness just raises to the level where we just decide, hey guys, let's just play instead. It's easier. Which is cool. Playing is good practice too. But sort of the idea, we're sort of in this catch-22. We can't really practice, but we need to practice. And for me, coming up with these solutions I'm going to share with you in this video were very important because they gave me the ability to practice without having to always pay for a coach and therefore saving money. Okay, so I have 3 solutions to this problem that I'm going to share with you in this video. Super quick before we start. I am probably going to start a Learn Beach Volleyball Fast podcast as well, which in the future will probably be a real podcast with interviews and with people and stuff. But some of my videos are sort of like this, just me kind of talking in front of a camera, which I want to give people the ability to listen to it on the go because it's easier, it's more time efficient. So this is one of those episodes that will be on that podcast one day, just so you know. So yeah, I know it's a little bit inconvenient to sit in front of YouTube and watch, but in the future you will be able to have it in your earphones on your way to work, commute, whatever, volleyball practice, and listen to these ideas on your way. Cool, now let's get started. Dictator training is the first solution to this. Dictator training basically means this, that all of the participants of the training, let's say we're 4, we divide the time that we have set for practice into as many pieces as there's people. So let's say we have an hour and we're 4 people. Well, we get 15 minutes each. In my 15 minutes, I get to decide my exact dream drill. Exactly what I want to practice, I can make happen. So I could have you serve me balls. I could have player number 2 set me. And I could even have number 3, maybe I will tell person number 3 that, hey, I'm working on this very specific thing in attacking. And I'm not yet good enough at knowing if I consciously feel if I'm doing it right or not. So I just want you to stand there and give me feedback. I tell them what I want feedback on. And this is the drill. Basically, all the other people are my servants. and I get to do exactly what I want. As a note, I've tried this with 4 people and 1 hour, and 15 minutes is quite a long time to do only one drill. So it's maybe better to split it 8 ways and have like 7.5 minutes, 7.5 minutes, and go 2 rounds around the whole thing. So we're all basically trading time. Next person gets to decide a completely different drill, whatever that person wants to do. And now I'm that person's servant. I might happen to do something. Good tip is to be a good setter. I've done some setting series if you want to watch that, some hand setting series, but it's very okay, I think, in this drill to choose exactly. The dictator chooses everything, which means that why would the dictator, if the dictator is practicing attacking, why would the dictator choose the bad setter to set? No, the bad setter will be like fetching balls or something, because that's also a role to get this drill. Sometimes you just decide, okay, you 2 guys, you're only gonna fetch balls. I want sets by this guy because he sits better than you guys. And there's nothing mean about that. It's just the dictator gets everything he wants, or she wants. And later someone else gets to be a dictator. So that's one point of getting value from this sort of practice, even if you are not the dictator, is to be good at volleyball. You get rewarded because then you get to do better tasks when someone else is dictator, which could be setting, could be something else. Another way to get more value out of this is to really learn to get value out of everything. Let's say that you're put into a boring role. Let's say you're catching balls. Well, is there something you can do mentally with your mind as you're catching these balls that you still get volleyball value from? Can you analyze the technique of the dictator or what he or she is trying to do? Or can you do something else cool, smart with your time? Maybe you're just supposed to catch balls and toss them away. Can you catch the balls, throw it up, and hand set it away? Well, now you're getting a bunch of hand setting repetitions. Maybe you have something that you're working on in hand setting. I hope this makes sense. Dictator training sounds like it's bad use of time because only 1 out of 4 or 5 or 6 or 2 or however many people might be training gets the real practice. But in reality, it's a skill to also get value from the other positions. So all in all, you are going to practice the full time. It's just that the drill is the most value maybe comes to the dictator. And you get your own time to be a dictator too. So here, the dictator training, we're sharing the leadership role. It means that everyone has to have a little bit of a plan. They have to know what they want to work on. They have to sort of have an idea of who they are as a volleyball player and where they're trying to go. So it takes a little bit of like ownership of your own learning, which I think everyone should have anyway. But yeah, it's as long as people have that, it's a cool way to practice without a coach. Second one is basically just a side out drill. So for example, let's say that we're 3 people. A side out, which is serve, receive, set, attack, nothing more, includes a lot of stuff. And this drill can be formed depending on what people want. So let's say I wanted to practice attacking. Well, then I go and ask the server to serve me easy balls, maybe even toss me free balls, so that the serve receive of mine is not an issue. They're perfect every single time, which makes the chances bigger that the set is good, and then I get to attack and work on my attacking. My partner though might be wanting to work on serve receives on difficult serves. Well, then my partner goes and tells the server, serve me tough. You might be serving him easy, but me tough. So What I'm saying here is that really just the drill is just this side up. You're just switching positions, whoever serves, next person serves, There needs to be no leader for that to happen. You just decide on a number of serves. Let's say the server serves 10 serves, 5 to each, and then you change. But by communicating with your training partners, everyone can get a lot of value and a lot of specific training for exactly what they want to practice. Okay, that was 2 out of 3. And this third one is fundamentally a little bit different. Because these 2 first ones, you can basically do no planning. You guys just decide today we're doing this side out thing, and we just show up and communicate for a few minutes. Okay, I want easy serves, you want difficult ones, blah, blah, and you go. There's not much planning needed. Same with the Dictator. You just decide, okay, today we're gonna do Dictator. Everyone comes up with their own plan, and we just show up and we go. This third one is a little bit different because it does take some planning and communication before. But it's basically to either let one person be the leader, be the coach, set up the practice plan, or set up a practice plan together. But there's a catch with this one, which is that you guys that practice together must know each other. Not only as persons, you must know each other as volleyball players, as practice partners. This means that if we were to do this together, if I'm gonna set up a practice plan together with you and 2 of our friends, I need to know what you guys want to practice and why. So, in beach volleyball in general, I believe we as players and training partners and whatnot, we communicate not enough about communication. We don't communicate enough about training techniques. We just show up and think that, okay, we showed up, this is it, we're gonna practice, now we're gonna learn a whole bunch of stuff. The problem is that if my reason to practice, my why, is a little bit different than yours, and your how is a little bit different than our friends', then our group has a lot of actual disconnections. We are not there for the same reason, and we don't really understand each other, which means that quite often when we practice, someone gets frustrated. That person gets frustrated, that person's body language goes down. Maybe you see that that person's body language goes down. You get stressed because you planned the practice, so now you feel bad because shit, I'm not making this guy happy. And now I start seeing that, okay, we have 2 out of 4, they're already unhappy, and I'm not really getting repetitions on what I want to practice, so I might as well be pissed off too. And a second later, our 4th guy is pissed off too. It doesn't need to be that extreme, but what I'm saying here is that if we try to practice together and we're not synced, well, it's very easy for us to get problems, which can ultimately take almost all of the value of the practice away. If we're just gonna spend 1.5 hours, 2 hours being pissed off at each other, not communicating, we might fucking learn more by being home, studying YouTube videos or something, watching pros play. We might learn way more from that. So what I'm trying to get to here is that if one of us plans the practice together or we plan it together, we need to have these sort of deeper conversations together before. And this takes time. Time very well spent, I think. Quite often people show up to practice and they're just, hey, I need repetitions, I need more tempo, more repetitions, which is completely fine as long as everyone is synced. Okay, give me a second, I need to open the door. All right, sorry for the interruption. So some people want a very high tempo practice which is cool as long as we know why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it. The catch with high tempo is that as soon as someone doesn't really know what they're doing, they're basically fucked. Because as soon as they're like, hey guys, stop, can I just ask you like what we're actually doing this for? And people are like, we need to continue, no, we don't have time to speak, faster, we're getting cold. Maybe you have seen this, maybe you haven't. I have. And yeah, I don't think it's ultimately so perfect. I would actually take it as far as, let's say that it's you and three of your friends. You decide that, hey, this summer or this fall or this spring or whatever, this 3-month period, we're gonna practice together. In the start of that period, I would decide for one night, you guys just sit together and plan to sit like 4 hours and talk through all of your guys' volleyball goals. What do you need to practice on? Why do you need to practice that? What would you like to practice after that? If you haven't, if this conversation would get really short and you want more ideas for what to practice, the absolute first video on this YouTube channel of mine is basically a video that I wish people that I coach would watch before they even show up to the first practice, because there I explain more in depth how many different ways there are to practice beach volleyball and why it's crucial to know sort of how long-term your goals are, what your idea, who you are as a player, basically, before you even show up to practice. So in case you would have that meeting with your friends and you don't really know what to talk about, start with watching that video together. And I promise you, okay, I can't promise you, but I think your guys' conversations, discussions will get sparked away from that video, actually. And from this conversation, you guys are gonna be synced. You guys are gonna have this like own sort of entity. And other people are gonna ask to practice with you, and you guys are gonna be like, no, it's not possible, because you have no idea what we're doing. Because Joe here knows exactly what I'm working on in my serve receives. So he knows how he should serve me for me to do that. And I know what this guy over here is doing in his sets, and we're very synced. And our practices are so much more efficient because of this. So we actually can't afford to have some outsider just come in and think he knows us. A little bit sad, but very true. I've had a few people that I practiced with. We got to this like sort of deeper bond connection. We know how to communicate with each other. Oh my God, practice is so cool. You learn so much more per hour. Remember, this YouTube channel is Learn Beach Volleyball Fast. My whole idea is sort of how to get more out of every hour we spend in practice. How to learn faster, more time efficiently. This connection between you and your training partners is a huge key to getting that. Take some upfront work to make it happen, but it's very cool once it happens. Because let's say you spend 50% of your time at practice being frustrated because the drills are not what you want them to be. Is that very constructive? Maybe not. All right, that was 3 ways that I've come up with that can help to practice without a coach. Underlying sort of idea here is that I believe more communication is better than too little. We can learn to communicate through the first 2 drills. The Dictator drill definitely puts all of us into the leadership role every now and then, so we get better at actually telling people what we want. Same with the side out drill. We also need to take a few minutes in the beginning, say that, okay, I want this, We also get better at expressing our needs in practice, which then we can go to the next level, do the 3rd one, and actually get super synced. because now we have some practice in the art of communication of what we actually want for our volleyball practice. Cool. I hope this video was good. Sort of freestyling here in front of the camera, just put out my thoughts. I've been coaching, sort of talking about these things in the last couple of days here, so they were very fresh on my mind. There's probably way more, or there are way more stuff we can think about, learn about practicing on your own and with your friends and with our coach and whatnot. I'll probably make more videos on topics like this in the future, but for now, this will be it. Maybe you have come up with some own cool ways to practice without a coach. If you have, please write them down in the comments. That would be super cool to read, and other people can get inspiration and stuff like that. Or maybe something that I said today gives a little bit of a tweak to something that you've done before, and they come up with something completely new. Let us know. That would be awesome. Because why not? So, before you leave, if you think these are sound ideas, if you want you and your friends to do this, send this video to your friend. Honestly. It's much easier to be like, hey, this guy made this weird video where he has some ideas. I think they're good ideas. I think maybe we should listen to it. Then go to your friends and be yourself, like, hey, we are doing this wrong. Or maybe it's easier for you to do that. Maybe it's easier for you to explain these ideas to your friends. But if it isn't, you can always send them to this video, and I'll be here explaining it online 24/7 if you need to. Alright, cool. For those of you that happen to maybe see this video as the first video from me, I'm Alex. This YouTube channel is learnbeachvolleyballfast.com. It will be a podcast. It's an online project, basically. Growing. It's going to grow way more in the future. My idea is to figure out outside of the box thinking ways. Science-based, experience-based, whatnot. All sorts of based ideas how to learn the sport of beach volleyball faster. Because I myself have gone on a mission to try to learn the sport in an adult age. I used to be a semi-professional snowboarder until I was 24, and then I realized that beach volleyball has a quite late peaking age. So I realized that I might still have a shot to maybe reach a professional level in another sport in my life before I get so old that I don't have the body to do like high intensity sports anymore. So I went for it. And I'm basically in here, I'm sharing a lot of the ideas that I've come up with on the way. Cool. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, share it to your friends, and write some comments below, and I'll see you later. Oh yeah, I forgot one more last thing. Actually, it's funny because nowadays this YouTube channel has grown a little bit, so it actually happens that I meet people that have seen my videos, which is so cool. It's such a weird experience. Like, people know what I've been talking about, even though I never met them before. However, I have several years left of my own beach volleyball career, and I'm gonna want to practice a lot. And a lot of that practice is gonna happen without a coach. If you want to practice with me, and you have seen this video, you have a huge advantage compared to other people. So if there's any value for you to practice with me, just let me know that you know these theories that you have seen this video, and let me know if you disagree with something of it or whatever, and we can discuss it, and we can probably practice together more efficiently than otherwise. Cool. And if I never see you, if you're not one of those that happen to live close to me, I hope I meet you some other day. All right, bye.